Kia ora koutou. Welcome to this morning's webinar on Google My Business. My name's Steve Hanrahan, I'm the Advocacy Manager at TIA, and I'm here with Gina Palladini, Marketing Director, and Renee Goodsall, Account Manager, both from Tomahawk. We're very pleased to partner with Tomahawk on today's webinar. TIA and the Domestic Tourism Working Group have worked with Gina and the team on a range of initiatives over the past few years to promote domestic tourism, most recently holding a webinar earlier this year on how to run a social media campaign to attract the domestic market. Today's webinar builds further on that, providing the opportunity to learn how Google My Business can boost your business. As Tomahawk have recently achieved the advanced partnership level with Google of Google Premier Partner, they're well placed to speak on this subject. We've had over 200 register for the webinar this morning, which is a great turnout. Thank you for making your time available, and I'll now hand over to Gina and Renee, who will lead the presentation today.
Hi, thanks so much, Steve, and thank you, TIA, for welcoming us to this opportunity to share how Google My Business can really make a difference for everybody and their business. And with me is Tomahawk's Marketing Manager, Renee Goodsall.
Hi, everyone. I awkwardly welcomed you before, so now this is my official welcome, and we really look forward to sharing our knowledge with you all today.
So as you know, you've got Steve, Gina, and Renee on board today to lead us through about the next half hour. There will be time for doing questions later on as this agenda shows. So right now we're going to start off with, are you ready? Talk to you about if you have Google My Business and if you're verified and what that means. What actually is Google My Business, which we often refer to as GMB because the tourism industry and digital marketing love acronyms. And then 5 reasons why you need it, 5 ways to boost your Google My Business, because when you boost your Google My Business, you boost your business. And then we'll end hopefully with enough time, because we haven't talked too long, and we'll get some questions and answers in there.
And just on the questions and answers, if we don't have time to answer them in the live session today, we will be downloading all of them and coming back to you in a follow-up email with your questions answered.
So this is our opportunity to introduce to everybody where the chat area is, so you can ask those questions at some point. So crazy but true, Christmas is 4 weeks away. Tell us, are you ready? Are you ready personally? Are you ready at work because you've got your Christmas parties planned, or you're going to a Christmas party, or you've got your Christmas campaigns in the market? Or is this a holy macaroni moment? Why would you even ask me that question? So Renee, where will they find that little chat box?
So if you go into the top panel or the bottom panel, depending on where you've got it placed, there is the opportunity to chat or ask a question and share with us what you wish for Christmas, what you want for Christmas.
So are you ready? What do you want? Oh, Christmas presents already sussed. Well done to you. Okay, lots of people are definitely ready for the holidays. Oh, wow, people are already sending them off at the post office.
Wow.
My body's ready for roast pork and Christmas pudding. Oh, yeah. So that did not remotely.
Dee, I'm with you.
Yeah, Dee. So fantastic. Thank you for entertaining us and for all of you just finding that chat and that question area. So you don't need to wait till the end to ask your questions. Just pop them through and we'll do our best to answer them along the way. This is us sharing what we've learned about Google My Business and how it's worked for our customers, and your opportunity to pick our brains to hopefully make the best for your business.
Definitely.
So really quickly, do you have Google My Business? Some of you might be like, yep, already know this, already got it. For those of you who might be new to Google My Business, the way that you find out if you've got Google My Business is just type in the name of your business, not your domain, just the name of your business. And if you do have Google My Business, then it will pop up on the right-hand side, as you will see in that little red box. Basically, if you have registered your address with Google, you might have a Google My Business with just your address and not a lot of information in there. And today's webinar will share with you what more you can do. So that's how you know if you have it or not. And we'll just work through the technical difficulties for a moment. And there we go.
Fantastic. So the next part is making sure that your Google My Business is verified. So this is just authenticating with Google that they know that you're a legit business. And how they often do this is send you a postcard in the mail. It should take up to 14 days. We'll talk more on that. Alternatively, you can have a phone call, keeping in mind that the phone number that you ask Google to call has to be able to be answered by a real person. If it's answered by a machine, Google's machine is going to try and talk to your machine, and then nothing's going to happen. So make sure that the phone number is answered by a real person. You will have a robot on the other end, and they'll give you a verification code. And in some instances, they will let you verify your account using email. Now, keep in mind, not all of these options are available for all businesses. And what we have found is there are small variants between different types of businesses, which we will talk more on in the next 30 minutes.
So what is Google My Business? Basically, it is your digital storefront. It is a snapshot of everything about your business that Google knows or that other people have told Google about your business. And it's there's lots of talk online that one day websites won't be available because Google My Business knows so much about your business, but we'll all wait and see. For today, yes, you still need a website, but it is your digital storefront that shares with the world who and what you are. It's a combination of what Google knows about you, and you will show up in searches. A lot of your search engine optimization can actually come from what Google knows about you and your Google My Business. It's also from your Google My Business feeds Google Maps, and Google My Business feeds Google Trips. If you don't know what Google Trips is now, you will by the end of this webinar, because on the 19th of May, 2019, everything about how you market online changed dramatically when google.com/travel or Google Trips was launched. So Google My Business feeds Google Search, Google Maps, and Google Trips.
And think of it as a consumer point of view. When I'm wanting to go to a business, or when you're wanting to go to a business, you often quickly grab your smartphone, type in the name of the business, and then use Google Maps to give you directions. So this also feeds that the ability to be able to let your consumer do that. Cool. Fantastic. So now hopefully you'll have your Google My Business. If not, you're going to go and set one up. Next, you're going to verify it so that you're able to do all these amazing things that we're going to talk about next. And now these are the 4 reasons why you need Google My Business.
All right, number 1, as we said, you want to make sure that your Google My Business is verified, and we're going to show you all the steps that you can feed your Google My Business so it's optimized. Because when people do searches, as in this example, this was just a search for Sydney kayaks, okay? These are not website links that show up under the map. And we call this the 3-pack, and I often joke that Google My Business is not fit enough that it has a 6-pack. It's only got a 3-pack. But what this means for your business is that if your Google My Business is set up, verified, and you're optimizing it, you can be one of these 3 businesses that's showing up under the map. Yeah. It also means, there's that word, that you're going to show up on Google Maps. Remembering how you and travelers are using their phones to find places and get on-the-go information. So people will also often go into Google Maps. I know I do.
Yeah, same.
Yeah. And you look for something, you often, because you've got your location on, Google knows where you're currently sitting, and you might look for activities, restaurants, accommodation that is near you. So you do a search within Google Maps, and boom, if your Google My Business is set up, verified, and optimized, you're going to hear that a lot, set up, verified, and optimized, then you can show up within Google Maps on these listings.
Yeah, near me is one of the most searched phrases as part of a search term when people are traveling. And so it might be restaurants near me, accommodation near me, activities near me, etc., etc. So making sure that that listing is optimized is a great way to get that business.
The third reason why is just if they're looking you up by name. Some people don't have the budget, knowledge, or opportunity to be doing search engine optimization, SEO, on their site. Or perhaps you are trying to get more of a book direct strategy because the OTAs are bidding on your property. Ensuring that your Google My Business is verified and optimized. When people search for your business, boom, on the right-hand side in big color imagery is going to be your business. And that will draw people to your business as opposed to the OTAs. So those of you looking for that book direct strategy, this is a really good opportunity for you. And the fourth reason, because Google My Business, when you have a complete listing, it's like magic stardust that helps your business. If you look at the picture on the left-hand side, that's an empty listing. So those of you who only have your address verified with Google, you automatically probably have a listing that looks like this. A complete listing looks like the one on the right. It has more imagery, it has comments, it has reviews. And we're not going to read the slide to you. You can read it. You can see the kind of results that you can get by use Google Toys the way Google wants you to, and you will be rewarded.
Yeah. And the traffic that's coming through to your website from your Google My Business listing do generate revenue. They will come to you and book. And we've seen, working with some of our customers, that the website traffic that they're getting from Google My Business is our users further down the funnel.
Yeah, and if you're an advanced marketer, or you're really into being a Google geek or a marketing geek, you can set up a unique URL for your Google My Business account, and you can see in your Google Analytics how much traffic it's bringing you, how many bookings, all sorts. It's pretty exciting. Now, the fifth reason, and in my humble opinion, the reason why you really want to ensure that your Google My Business is updated is because of Google Travel. So Google Travel is what was launched on the 19th of May 2019. And this is Google well and truly jumping into the tourism industry and owning the online marketplace for trip planning, for during your experience, because you've got your location on, feeding you information and recommending what you can do. And yeah, stay tuned, because in 2020, Tomahawk's going to be talking a lot about Google Travel and what it means to your business. So this is how, when you start doing searches, Google My Business is going to be coming. And here's an example on how Renee, who's leaving Thursday for Melbourne, when she did a Google search for her flights, Google knows she's going to Melbourne. So it just starts offering her ideas and suggestions on what she can do when she's there. So
And
Yeah.
it does pull in the exact dates that the consumer or your potential guest is staying. If you've booked using your Gmail account, so I booked these flights using my Gmail account, and then automatically Google has registered that I'm flying to Melbourne on Thursday, I'm going to be there for X amount of days, and it started serving me up accommodation options. Now I've booked accommodation and Google knows that I've booked accommodation. It's now serving me up things to do, places to visit, and what I can do in terms of itineraries whilst I'm on the ground in Melbourne. So it's very intuitive.
Yeah, and we can totally geek out on this and talk about it for hours. You can also manually upload any manual bookings that you've done too.
Yeah.
So stay tuned. Next year we'll talk a lot more about Google Travel, but at this point, just understand that verifying and optimizing your Google My Business is really going to give you the competitive edge online for all the exciting things that are happening.
Definitely.
Anybody that thinks I might be crazy or that we might be crazy saying how important Google My Business is for Google Travel. Google My Business was only launched in May, and in one quarter, it has affected some of the big boys significantly, in the sense that both Expedia and TripAdvisor in their quarterly reports saw a huge dip in revenue. Okay, TripAdvisor had a 12% decline in one quarter, and they're pointing at Google Travel for that change. And TripAdvisor and Expedia acknowledge that organic or free links organic free links are ending up further down in searches as Google prioritizes its own travel business. And Mark from Expedia has gone so far as to say is that more revenue per visitor. And the reality is that the importance of Google at the top of the funnel, more revenue per visitor is heading their way. So we all need to be aware of this effect, what's happening, and how we can leverage it for our business. So if that hasn't convinced you that you got to be there, just sign off now, because we're going to be talking about now what you can do to optimize it for your business and where you can control this. So really quick snapshot. Google My Business is a snapshot of your business. It can drive bookings. It also increases customer engagement. We're going to talk a little while in a couple of minutes about how Google My Business is actually social media. It's free, and getting on board now and making sure you're optimized can win over your competitors.
Fantastic. So now you know why you should have Google My Business. We're going to talk about 5 ways to boost your Google My Business. So stay tuned.
As if they were going to go somewhere, right?
You said they might leave.
That's true. So first of all, get the basics right. Get the basics right, okay? Once you are on board and you can do this quickly and easily, you just want to go in and make sure the basics for your business is correct. Your opening hours, your product. We're going to go through all of this. And here's the reason why. If you do not get it right, as you can see here, anybody can suggest an edit. So anybody can say, yeah, they're not open at those hours, or change, if you haven't updated your address, they can say what your address is. But if you have your basics right, then you're good to go. Do you want to talk about categories?
Can do. So within your Google My Business account, you can then select categories. So when you first sign up, you'll be given the option to select one. And then when you go into the back end of your Google My Business account, thereafter you can select an additional 4. You don't have to select 5 in total. And we highly recommend you only select categories that are applicable to your business. If you select ones that are not applicable, Google will pick up on this and you can be penalized. Equally so, making sure that you are selected for the correct ones will ensure that your business is showing up for those searches when people are looking for different businesses. So you'll notice in the screenshot that there are different options for a similar business. So both of them offering kayaking. One has selected their primary category as a tour operator, and another has selected their primary category as a canoe and kayak tour agency. I am going to say that there are a lot of category options. We have got a list on our website, and we will share the link in the follow-up email. Or it's actually there in the slide in front of me. There are so many. I don't recommend going and reading it, but just start to look and search for things that you might expect your business to be showing up for. In some instances, they won't be there, but they may come on at a later date. So it's really important to keep logging into this area and just refresh yourself with what's now available.
We've given a little advanced tip to anybody who's a tour operator that has perhaps their office or their check-in place in one place, and then their tour operates in a different place.
And this is actually a question that's come through on the chat from someone, so I was going to hold off, but so continue, sorry.
Yeah, so that's great timing. That's awesome. So let's say you work from home, but your tour somewhere else. We know somebody who their office is in Blenheim, but their tour is in the Sounds. So there's a little trick for you. The solution is to click no, where it says I serve customers at my business address. Instead, you say I deliver goods and services. And so that will step you through. Now, post this this webinar, everybody that signed up will get a recorded version of the webinar, and Tomahawk is giving us a free gift, 2 ebooks. One is setting up your Google My Business and being verified. And the second one is optimizing your Google My Business. In that optimizing one, we give some further tips that will step you through this process. Oops. Now, there are 2 kinds of attributes. Attributes are clues. Clues about your business, clues that you can give the user and give Google. Remember, everything you do online, you're pleasing 2 entities. You're pleasing the user, potential customer, and you're pleasing Google. So attributes are those little clues. In this example, it's a really easy one for accommodation. Accommodation providers, you've got loads to choose from. Free Wi-Fi, free parking. Tour operators, not so much. Your attributes are limited right now and mostly are subjective. The 2 types of attributes are factual, okay? Yes and no attributes that you can't, that are very definitive. Tour operators and others, you have what are called subjective. Subjective attributes are when Google goes out to Joe Public and asks things about your business. Remembering that Google My Business is Google's way to make up for their sins for social media when they tried to launch Google+. This is really awkward right now, you guys. Renee and I are actually in the Google Auckland headquarters as we speak. So we're saying this about them under their roof. So Google My Business is a type of social media where they are asking other people subjective things about your business. And these questions will pop up. Now, when Joe Public answers these about you, you will be asked, is it true or not? So don't panic that somebody's going to say something about your business that isn't true. Okay, so you've got 2 kind of attributes, but this is another reason why, a reminder of why you need to be logging into your Google My Business and keeping up with it. Really quickly, because we just saw the time, the attributes are very, very important if you're an accommodation provider, because when people are in Google Maps, they also have the opportunity to filter by attributes. So I'd be one that would look for an accommodation. I would always want free Wi-Fi. It is 2019 and almost 2020, you got to offer free Wi-Fi, and I would want free parking. So people are getting pickier, and they really use the attributes to
refine their search.
That's the word.
Fantastic. And as we all know, Images are key, not only on your website, including social media, and because Google My Business is effectively like social media, they're equally as important on this platform. So listings with photos are twice as likely to generate interest. Make sure that you're adding images in that you want the customers to see. Users can also add images. So by you adding your own content in here means that you're taking control of the platform, and you're really driving what the end user is going to be seeing and the impression that they're going to get from your business.
We often get asked, oh, some customer just uploaded a picture of our parking lot and that's the one showing. Well, if that's the case, that is the case. So what you can do is just load 4 or 5 new images and push that one down. Yeah?
Yep.
Cool. We're going to start having to talk quickly because we talked too much at the beginning. Geotagging is really, really important. It's added Google juice. What it means is that your pictures are verified for where they were taken. So the easiest way to geotag is to have pictures taken on your phone where you're standing and have your location on. Your customers will obviously be doing the same. If you're a bigger business and you pay for professional photos that you want to upload, there's all sorts of geotag online tools that you can use, but it does add a level of
behind the scenes
that needs to happen. Now, really quickly, posts. Posts are amazing. Posts are a way that you can add extra messaging on your Google My Business to whoever's looking. There's lots of different ways you can do a post. You can add an event. You can add a poll. You can say, which one of our tours do you think is more exciting, A or B? You can do a picture of your accommodation and do 2 different rooms and ask which one, or if you offer breakfast, which one. Do fun polls. You can do offers. Now, here's the thing. If you're an accommodation, you currently cannot do posts. You can ask for exemption, and in our 2 ebooks that we'll be showing, we'll be sending you, we can give you the details on that. But posts live for 7 days and they really drive bookings and website traffic. And to get the most out of your posts, we've got some little tips here, making sure that you really use strong visual. Keep everything concise. Keep it to 58 characters. Keep it relative. Make it fun. These are like little mini social media posts. So when you do a post on Facebook or Instagram, just go to Google My Business and go ahead and do the same thing. So instead of just doing posts onto 2 platforms, you need to start getting into the habit of doing 3 platforms. And here's the other thing, is that remembering this is social media, anybody can ask a question of your business. If you are checking your Google My Business, you're going to see if somebody's asking something about your business and maybe Joe Public has answered it wrong. You got to jump in and answer it right. This is also a really good opportunity for you to answer your most frequently asked questions. So have a friend, a colleague, somebody at work, go onto your Google My Business listing. What do? They type in the name of your business. Your Google My Business listing shows up on the right-hand side. They click on Ask a Question and have them ask the questions that you get asked most often. Is there free parking? Do they offer lunch with the tour? Get all of those questions on there, and then boom, you log into your Google My Business and go ahead and answer them. Yeah?
Yeah.
Cool. Keep up with Google My Business. There are new features every month. We talk about this quite often when we're doing our 2020 workshops, and we kind of get embarrassed because in the workshop we'll go here and click to do this, and all of a sudden it's changed. So keep up with it because it's always changing. The easiest way to keep up with it is this trick. Everybody who hasn't done this yet, grab your mobile phone and download the Google My Business app onto your phone. What it means is that you will get notifications, just like you get notifications when you get a new post or somebody's talking about you on LinkedIn or social media, on Facebook or something. Google My Business will let you know if somebody's asked a question, posted a picture, and you can just really quickly go ahead and answer it right from your phone. Also, when you have Google My Business on your phone, that means you can take a picture right then and there. It's geotagged, so you got that extra Google juice, and add it to your Google My Business. From that app, you can see what's happening on your Google My Business. You can even tap on more on the Google My Business dashboard and see your analytics if you have your Google Analytics on the same Gmail account as your Google My Business.
Which we recommend doing, by the way.
So this is just showing how the power of it is and all the good stuff that you can find on your Google My Business. And whew, we've got 5 minutes left or so to answer any questions. So do we have some that we should look at?
Can you delete a pic if it's old or your business has changed? Oh, sorry, your building has changed. The short answer is no. You're not able to control any of the content that users put up because it's authentic. However, if there is a valid reason, you can reach out to Google and apply to have these things removed.
And we can also, it's a long process. You can have, like, if you get a review that's blatantly not true, there is a long process. We always tell people, if you get a review that you feel is not true, go ahead and answer it in a professional, constructive way, and then just work on getting more reviews, because that one will get pushed down. There is a process. Probably we will include it in the follow-up. Anybody that's dealing with that today, just Google, how can I get a Google My Business photo deleted? You can try the process. Just understand it doesn't happen overnight.
Perfect. So we talked about if your business is in a different place to where you run your operation, e.g. home office versus out on the ground. So hopefully that helped with that one. Next, our business hosts a museum, a retail store, and a cafe all at one address. How do I include 3 activities in one listing? Charlotte, I would highly recommend you have 3 Google My Business accounts. Yeah. Each of these businesses are going to target different audiences. And you're going to have different content that you share across each of those platforms, each of those businesses as well.
Yeah, so, and you don't want food pictures for the cafe showing up on the museum.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So recommend having 3 separate ones.
And that's just like having more bait to get the fish. So more bait in the water is always a good way.
Yeah. And going back to that near me question, if I'm typing cafes near me and then a museum came up, that's kind of confusing for the end user.
In regards to choosing your category, always go for specific.
Yeah.
Always go for specific. We don't live in the day where you are abroad. You want to find the people that are more aligned with your business. So no, you don't want to be a tour company. You do want to be the kayak company in that example.
Yeah, and you can have more than one category. So if you have your primary specific and then your secondary, tertiary, etc., can be a little more generic. So we've probably got time for one more question. Why can't accommodation providers do Google My Business posts?
Well, that's a really easy one. Are you ready? Here's why. So Google has Google Flights. So when you go to search for a flight in the search box, you'll probably notice that a little box comes up and asks you, your date that you're flying. That's Google Flights. And then if you notice, if people are searching for, that's my fingers typing, if people are searching for accommodation, what will come up are Google hotel ads. So Google is jumping full into the tourism industry, and they have connections for flights, and they have connections and ways to make more money off accommodations. They currently don't have a booking engine partnership for tours and activities. So that's why tours and activities can still do posts, but accommodations can't. Again, in the book that we're going to follow, ebook that we're going to follow up on, we give you the instructions on how you can ask for an exemption. But what we would just suggest is keep those photos beautiful and amazing, and do all the other optimization things that you can do besides posts. And Google My Business keeps changing. So just because you can't do posts now doesn't mean that you can't going forward.
Yeah.
So hopefully that answered the question.
So we've got a lot more questions, and I understand that you all want the answers to these. However, we have run out of time today. What we will be doing is compiling all the questions and answering them in the follow-up email, which you will get within the next 48 hours. But hopefully you all enjoyed this morning and had a fantastic 30 minutes learning about Google My Business. And we look forward to sharing this with you. And if you have got any questions, please do feel free to reach out and discuss those further with us.
Thanks so much for sharing your time with us. Cheers, everyone.
Bye.